I'm gonna press play. And the game will go on. Well, how are we, guys? We are back for another live Q&A. And while you're all typing in where you are from and what time it is, wherever you are in the world, I am going to just turn off that video. Over there, wherever that's gone. There it is. I'm going to just turn that off and then I'm with you. All right, here we go. So, who notices something new in my little office pod here? Oh yes, I have my neon TSOP there. All right, that's a nice little touch, I think. Tell me what you think of that. The other thing is, you know how it goes by now. And for those people that are new here, I always show off my albums. There is the featured album. I want to know who it is and what the name of the album is, if you know them two things. And then up the top there we have our featured artist. Okay, so there's a couple of little things for you to be getting on with. Right, loads of people in the house already. Wow, I think that is the most that we've ever had to start. So thanks, guys. Oh yeah, and just thanks for joining me. Really appreciate it. Let me just tell you how it works for those people that are new, and to remind everyone else. So there is a link and I've put it in the description of this video. You click on it, you submit your questions. Okay, it gives me a chance to print them off and prepare the answers for you. I do try to get through them all. Most of the time I don't get through them all, but I do try my very best. You can also ask questions in the comments here as well. Don't forget that it's about a 30 seconds delay. So from when you type your question in, about 30 seconds later, you know, that's when I see it. And yeah, so that's that. And what else? Oh, that's it really. Oh, the other thing is, it's the evening in the UK. So I always have a nice beer with you guys. This is a Green King IPA this week. Green King IPA, absolute classic beer in the UK. Cheers. Hopefully you're having a lovely drink wherever you are. If it's the evening, don't forget it's the evening. We've got to enjoy ourselves of an evening, haven't we? Yeah, there you go. Let's have a look who's in the house. Tim Bryan from gloomy Essex. Oh yes, that's where we're from. In case you don't know, we're from Essex. TSOP is where the office is. That's where I live. It is blowing a storm out there this evening. It's raining and cold and windy and everything. Adam from Stoke on can't even talk. Stoke-on-Trent. Brian Nicholson. No, you've got that wrong. It's not suede. Okay, you got that one wrong. None of them is suede. And Debbie Pete is saying, no, not Green King IPA. What's wrong with Green King IPA? It's like one of the best beers you could ever get. It's like the standard beer. Debbie and Eddie from Keswick. Yes, I'm coming up that way soon, and I'm going to be tapping you up, I'll tell you. May, we're going to be up there in May, okay, to film a course. There you go, little heads up there. And there was someone from Texas. I saw Texas, and then it went. So hello from Texas, wherever those there. There's from Sheffield here, Ireland, Cornwall. Abby from Cornwall there. There was a few more people from the USA, but they France. Rory's in the house. Bonsoir from France. Wet France. Loads of people in the house. Someone from Malta there. Lovely place, Malta there. Oh no, sorry, I got that wrong. Someone's drinking a single malt. I read that too quick. Okay, listen, let's crack on. Loads of people are in the house, and thank you for joining me. While I think about it, please press that like button. Do it now, right this minute, before you forget. Hit the like button. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button as well. We need that. I mean, I know it sounds so silly, and it sort of annoys me to say it all the time, but you know, if you don't like our videos, it doesn't get pushed to anyone else. No one else sees it. So if you like and subscribe, and you do that right now, I'm going to really appreciate it. Now, here we go. Guess the albums. I'll come back to that in a minute. No one's guessed them yet that I could. Sean Yeager. Yes, well done, mate. You have got it right. John Lennon here. John Lennon. If you want to get particular, it's John Lennon and Yoko Ono for that one. Double Fantasy. And then that one, obviously, absolute classic. John Lennon, Imagine. One of the best albums of all time. I'm sure you'll agree. No one's got that one yet. No, it's a British band. There's a clue for you. And the lead singer and guitarist, the lead person of the band, is absolutely brilliant on the guitar. There is your clue. Right, that's enough of music. Let's get on with the photography. Next month, I am going to get people in, right? I tried to do it this month, and if you're watching Steve and I can't remember who else, sorry, but if you're watching Steve, sorry about that. I did try. We was testing and we just couldn't get the. But next month I'm going to do it. I'll tell you, I'm going to do it. We're going to get 2 people, me and someone else, which saves you listening to me waffling on. All right. Yeah. So there you go. It's not happening this month, but next month, fingers crossed, I can get that live interview type style going. Okay. Not Paul Weller. It's not Paul Weller. This one's got people, hasn't it? This one has got people going. Okay, let's start off here with John Jarrett in the US of A. He says, my pictures indoors are sometimes yellowy or orange in colour. Why? Welcome, John, from the USA. If you're in the house, let us know. Hey, Mike Ford's got it right. Well done, Mike. It is Dire Straits. What's the album called? I'll leave that one out there. I'll throw... Hi from Basil, and it's Dire Straits. So Richard's got it now, yeah, Dire Straits, yes. What's the album called? Where were we? Oh yeah, pictures that are yellowing or going orange taken indoors. John, that's tungsten light. Okay, so you get light bulbs. So in the olden days, well, so tungsten is a metal. So for them scientists among you, tungsten is it's on the periodic table, I believe. It's an element. It's a metal element. When you put electricity through tungsten, it glows. That's what creates a light bulb, or the old light bulbs. Now they're all energy saving, LED and this, that and the other, right? But that tungsten light is an orangey, yellowy light, okay? And you can actually, they sell now light bulbs, energy saving light bulbs, and they call them warm white. I don't know if you've seen that. And they call them cool white. So you've got warm light and cool light. So I've got a cool light one up there. And you get a warm light one which mimics tungsten light. And that's why you are seeing orange and yellowy colours inside. Now sometimes that's nice and sometimes it's not. But it's a really easy fix. And I'm just going to look at some of these messages here. Sultans of Swing, the song Sultans of Swing is on that album. So there you go, there's a clue. Let's go over to the screen here, because I'm still answering John's question about tungsten light. It's a very, very easy fix, and I'm going to try and find, I could actually do it to any picture, but let's try and find one that I normally use in lessons, actually, because it makes my life easier. Where it is, live Q&A. This one I sometimes use for that. Right, so we're all still live. Everything's going good. Right. Now, it's a very, very easy fix. So basically, well, there's 2 ways you can actually fix this, John. Auto white balance on your camera normally does the job. Or you set the camera to tungsten white balance. That's a little symbol. It's like a light bulb symbol on the camera. Go to your white balance settings, put it onto tungsten, and then everything that's yellow or orange in that room will turn pure white. So that's one way to deal with it, but you don't really need to worry because Lightroom and post-processing does all of the hard work for you. I am just looking at I think they've all got the album. I think they've all got the albums by now. So well done, guys. Well done indeed. It's a great album. It's a great... Yeah, you've all got it. I'm getting it there. Yeah. Dire Straits. Dire Straits by Dire Straits. There you go. So well done, guys. And it is a terrific album. And Mark Knopfler on the guitar. Christ almighty. Just go on, you're on YouTube now. When you finish here, just type in Mark Knopfler on a guitar or something, and you just see a genius at work. Anyway, here we go. back to here. You can do the tungsten thing on your camera, or you just come over to this section. So we're in the develop module of Lightroom. You come over to this section here where it says white balance. You click the drop down and you select any of these until you get a nice look. So if you just see there, if I went back to as shot, you can see how blue it is. This is like the opposite of what you were saying with yellow. And this is because I took this particular picture during what do you call it, like twilight, where it's a very blue light, you know, and that's why we've got blue, and it's a nice cold color all on the skin there. Well, if I go to daylight, you can see that it just turns that skin a bit more natural. Actually, it turns it into a bit more of a natural color. If I go tungsten here, it removes all of the orange and replaces it with blue. Now effectively that's what's going to happen in your picture if you set your camera to tungsten. Yeah, and that's basically it really. It's only a white balance thing. Generally you have it on auto, that's what I have it on a lot of the time, or daylight. I hardly ever put it on anything else, and the reason for that is you can change it so easily in Lightroom. Okay, so yeah, there you go. That's the reason your shots are coming out yellow or orange. Now let's go back to camera. Go back to camera here. William Mackenzie, he's late but he is here. Well done, and cheers everybody. Mozam Hossein, sounds fantastic on vinyl. It does, you know, but you see, with me and vinyl, I kind of have this love-hate relationship, because I do like vinyl because it's big and they've got pictures, right? And you can put them on the wall, and there's something about vinyl where you have to start and finish it. It's not like when you're online, you just click next and whatever. You put a vinyl record on, it's got to go to the end. So that's what I like about it. But do you know what? I know people sit there and say, oh yeah, vinyl is such a better sound. It's actually not a better sound than digital. I don't think it is. If you listen to a Pink Floyd album with proper speakers, digitally remastered, that is better than a vinyl. But the vinyl's got that, I don't know, that warmth, I suppose, and it's the fact that you can feel something and see something, and yeah, that's what and also it reminds you of being a kid, doesn't it? There you go. We're going totally off ball here. We're supposed to be talking about photography. Right, let's go to the next question. This is from Tony Cox here from Leicester. And Tony says, hi Mark, I hope you are all well at TSOP. Yes, we are all very well, thanks Tony. During one of Trudy Kepke's videos, which I really enjoyed by the way, she mentioned that she usually always focuses at infinity when composing her images. I've only had a quarter of a pint, I can't talk. As some of my lenses clearly have a point of infinity marked on the scale, others don't. So my question is, if the point of infinity is not marked on your lens, how do you know where it is? So infinity is just, as the word suggests, infinite. And in a lens and photography sense, it's the furthest point away that your camera can focus onto, and that is different on different lenses, but it's very easy to do. Just point your lens at something far away, press the button until it goes beep and focuses, and you're in infinity. And that's really basically it. Most lenses only really focus a few meters in front anyway, you know, and then the rest past that is infinity. So it's not, I get that question a lot, because some lenses have got the infinity mark on them. I will show you what that means for people that don't know what that means here. Okay, so there it is there. I'm going to try and get a bit close. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do this. I don't think you can actually see that, as a matter of fact, but there is a little infinity symbol, and this is the focus ring here. Okay, so I'll try and explain it. So I've got the infinity symbol, and then the lens focuses, I don't know, about a centimeter past that. So if you haven't got that symbol, just focus into the furthest point away, let the camera go beep or focus, and that is effectively infinity. So it's not really a big deal. People get really worried because the cheaper lenses don't have that symbol on. It's not a big deal, trust me, it really isn't a big deal. Focus it to the furthest point away. That's that. So I hope that's answered your question, Tony. I think I saw your name pop up here as well, so I do think that you're in the house. And Brian Nicholson got 2 new vinyl albums delivered today. Well done. I can't wait for the shops to open. We've got a vinyl shop down the road in Braintree, and I want to go in there and have a little rummage around. Can't beat a bit of Pink Floyd. No, you cannot beat a bit of Pink Floyd. And there we go. Let's go on to the next one by Lorraine, and it says Smart Fee. I think there might be a spelling mistake. Yeah, it might be that. Okay. Anyway, Lorraine is from Wolverhampton in England, and she has asked, I've just bought a Canon EOS 400D and I'm finding it hard to get a remote shutter release for that particular camera. Can you advise which one would be compatible to the camera, please? I think that you can get the remote. There's a remote trigger. I've got it for my 5D actually, and it works on, I think it's like a generic Canon remote trigger, and it's actually used like for instance, I could use it. I've got the M50 that I'm looking at right now, and I can use the same remote trigger for that as I can for the 5D, and it's used actually for selfies, if you like. So you stand there and you press it and it fires it off. So I think you can get that. So just type in remote trigger for Canon 400D, and to be honest, it's the 4000D. Sorry, Lorraine, it's the 4000D. But I'm pretty sure you can use that remote trigger. I don't know if anyone else on here has bought a wired trigger for that particular brand. If you have, please put it in there for me so that Lorraine, you can help Lorraine out. That's another thing that we do in this group. If I can't answer a question, I throw it out to the group and then they put the answers in there for you. Okay. Oh yeah, Steve has just come up with a really good point. You can use your phone with the Canon app. You can. Yeah, I'm not sure, because I know that some cameras can't use the app because they've not got Wi-Fi and that, but I'm pretty sure the 4000D does have it. Does have that, as a matter of fact. And the Canon app is brilliant. I've used it the other day, as a matter of fact. Very easy to use. So yeah, good point there, Steve. Thanks for bringing it up. Let's move on to the next question. Yeah, Stephen Law. Hi, Stephen. Yeah, sorry I couldn't get you connected in, but we're going to go for it next month. All right, fingers crossed. Yeah, so Stephen's saying that it can be connected with your smartphone. Okay, so there you go. Thank you very much for that. Oh yeah, I like this question. Right, listen to this one. It's from David Booth in Derbyshire. He says, a silly, simple question, which I don't think it is actually. It's a difficult question. But Fever got a satisfactory answer. Never, that's supposed to say, but never got a satisfactory answer. Be careful with your typing. Why are camera lenses round when the film and sensors are rectangular, right? Surely it would be easier and cheaper to produce rectangular lenses and easier to crop, right? I mean, I tell you what, that is such a good question, because obviously glasses are lenses, aren't they? Like, these are rectangular, and I read that first of all and I thought, what are you talking about? Like, it doesn't make sense, but it actually does make sense. And I haven't got the answer for you, and so I'm throwing it out there. I'm throwing it out to the group. Maybe there's a scientist amongst us that can actually answer that question. I know that when light travels through a lens, it comes out the other end, back upside down and back to front. So it could be something to do with the fact that you need a full circle for light to be traveling through at all angles, right? That's my guess. It's just a total guess. But I would love to know what other people think about that question. Because it is a good one. It's a good one. It's a brain teaser. So well done, David. I don't know if you're in the house, but there you go. And I've just got to delete someone, guys. Sorry. This is what happens. This is what happens on the internet. There we go. I think that's done the trick. This should be done automatically, as a matter of fact. Ah, there we go. That's the one I want. Here we go. Right, sorted that one out. Now, let's go on to... This is the internet for you. Right, sorry about that, guys. I am sorry about that. Now, let's go for the next one. Stuart Hampton in New Zealand. Hey, are you in the house? If you are, let me know. I wonder what time it is out there. Anyway, hi, Mark. I have a question on macro lenses and why and when to use them. Goes on about taking some close-up photography and using a 50mm lens, a Tamron 18 to 250 lens, and got some decent results and stuff like that. One of them, well done Stuart for this, one of them was published in the Digital Photo magazine in the UK, so congratulations on that one. Anyway, getting decent results with normal lenses, I think, is pretty much what Stuart's trying to say here. The question is, I have been considering buying a dedicated macro lens, but I'm wondering what the benefits are and what they would bring to other than using his own equipment, what he's currently using, right? Well, you can put it down to two things, really. You are going to get closer focusing and wider apertures. The money, because macro lens is a lot of money, and I'm sure you're aware of that. The money side of it and the expense side of it, that comes to do with the fact that there's a wide aperture. So the wider the apertures, the dearer the lenses, because of the way they have to design them and make the things bigger and I don't know, all that kind of stuff, right? But so that's the benefits: a wider aperture, and you can get closer with the focusing. And yeah, that's it really. Any other benefits from other people? There must be people out there watching this right now that have got macro lenses. Put them in there. I don't know what camera he's got, otherwise you could have 650D, so it's a Canon. Right, there you go. If anyone knows a decent macro lens for a Canon, whack it in the comments and let's help Stuart out. Okay. The aperture ring is round. Oh yeah, Nathan Moore, you're a genius. That's such an obvious answer that I didn't think of. So if you, a while ago we was answering a question with David Booth about why don't they make rectangular lenses, because you can get rectangular glasses, blah blah blah. And Nathan Moore has quite simply said the aperture ring is round. Yeah, you cannot get a rectangular aperture ring, can you? No, you can't. Cool. Well, maybe you can. Well, I don't think you can. No. There you go. There's your answer. So it was a good question, and I knew it would have a simple answer. So thanks for putting that answer in there. Oh, here we go. We've got Emmanuel here from Cameroon. There we go. And someone from Fuji. There. I knew we had people from all around the world in here. I was just trying to find them earlier on. Let's go on to the next question, shall we? And I will have a little drinky poo first. Right. Now. Oh yeah, it's a good question. It's from Clemen Pogyagnik. I hope I've said that right. Where when you put where you're from, he's just put Europe. So if you could narrow that down a little bit next time, that would be great. But his question is, some new Canon cameras have a new mode called FV mode, flexible priority. In short, it's advertised as a combination of all the other creative modes. I've been using it. He says it allows him to work much faster. What's my opinion on using that function to using manual AV or TV? That mode is on the new EOS R, I believe, or the R range. I haven't got that, so I've never used this mode. I have read up on it. It seems fairly easy to use. It actually seems near on the same as what program is, what P is. And what P is, it enables you to use the camera automatically, and then with P on program mode, you can change. On most cameras, you've got two wheels anyway. On the most of the pro cameras, you've got two wheels, haven't you? One on the back, one on the front. So if you're in P mode, program mode, you can take an exposure till it goes beep, and then you, on this particular camera, I would twist that one and it would change the shutter speed for me. I would twist that one and it would change the aperture for me, and effectively each one of them it becomes, so that one would become the shutter speed priority, and then that one would become the aperture priority. So if you set your camera up in P mode, every camera's got this FV mode anyway, and I think that's basically what it does. So you can press a button, turn the dial, and it would be changing the aperture for you. You've got control of the aperture. You press the button again, you turn the dial, and you've got control of the shutter speed. You press it again, ISO, etc. And the camera then changes the rest of the settings to compensate. So it is quite quick to use. So I think that it does the same job really as P. I've never used it. It's probably quicker than using the P mode, I would imagine so. And I suppose my answer is there's nothing wrong with using AV or TV. I use it all the time. I use AV. If it's a bright day, I'm on AV most of the time, no matter what I'm doing. If it's a bright day, because a bright day is going to give you a fast shutter speed. It's when it's like when you're struggling for light, that's when you have to be a bit more creative with using shutter speeds and ISO and stuff like that. So that's my opinion on it. I think if it works for you, go for it. If AV works for you, go for it as well. You know, it's it sounds like a good idea to me. Okay. I'm just reading what's going on here. There's Jonathan from Halifax. Welcome aboard here. Okie dokie. Now, Mark Hume here from Australia, from down under. I hope you're doing well down under there. I think that you're coming out of all of this lockdowny stuff in Australia. Not sure, but that's what I hear on the news, I think. Anyway, he says, color modes, standard RGB or Adobe RGB, which is better, or does it make no difference? So there's a few things to answer here. Firstly, if you're talking about in camera before you take the shot, if you're shooting in RAW, it doesn't matter what you're in because it's just capturing all the raw data. So that's, don't worry about it there. Literally, do not worry about it in the camera if you're shooting RAW. Now, when it comes to your monitors, that's when it does matter. So let's try and explain the difference. Standard RGB is what you've got on nearly everything. Your phones, you know, you've got them on your phones, your tablets, your laptops here, and just most screens is a standard RGB. And then you've got Adobe RGB, and that's this screen here. And I'll just try and prove it to you. So here is my screen, which is in Adobe RGB. Now you're saying to me, no, it ain't. I can't see any difference, right? Well, no, you can't, because you're watching it on a standard RGB screen. So it's going to make no difference. And this is the point I'm going to make. The first thing is, if you're working for screen, for your website, for emailing, for Facebook or whatever, standard RGB is what you need to work in, because otherwise it will look different. So if you're working in Adobe RGB and then you're posting onto Facebook, and generally this is what will happen. You'll look on screen on your Adobe RGB screen, you'll look on Facebook and it will be a lot duller than it is on your Adobe RGB screen. Okay, so there's the first kind of mistake or myth, that you need Adobe RGB for everything. No, you don't. Now, where it does come in handy on screen is for printing. So Adobe RGB has approximately 30% more color. So if you're working in a color space of Adobe RGB, and these, you get them in pro monitors, which actually we've got a competition right now. I see it. I weren't meant to do this. This weren't part of the plan, but while I'm here, I am going to advertise it. Why not? Because you're all here and you all want to win a monitor, don't you? Yes, I know you do. I can hear you saying, a monitor, please. Let's go to the page. Is it going to go to the page for me? Is it going to go to the page for me? No, because it's all frozen up. Oh, well, that's not good. That's not good, is it? There you go. I'll try it once more. And no. So there you go. Sorry, guys. Well, I say sorry. It's me that's missing out here. if you go onto our website or onto our Facebook feed or even the YouTube feeds, there is a video and it says BenQ monitor competition. All right, so we are giving away a photographer's monitor that has got Adobe RGB in it. Right, there's the advert. Let's get back to the point. So you got 30% more color. You get much more vivid colors, so it's really cool for landscape photography because them colors are generally in the blues and the greens. And seeing more color, thanks Gary, that's what you hashtag TSOP and BenQ on Instagram, and you'll see some stuff as well. And so when you're printing, obviously the more color you see, the better, because no screen can project to you the actual colors, the amount of colors that you can see with your eyes. Now these monitors, these BenQ monitors that you can win, I'm just off the top of my head, they project about 1.1 billion colors, right? 1.1 billion colors, which is a lot more than a normal standard RGB screen. That really helps you out. And now you actually see a lot more colors than that, a lot more colors. I don't know the science, but you can see in print so many more colors than that screen can project to you anyway. But the point is, the more colors you see, the better. And you can get them colors a lot more accurate between your screen and your print when you are working in Adobe RGB. You can get much more vivid colors and it just helps you out. But it's for printing, yeah? If you're working on videos and websites and things like that, then standard RGB is all you need. And in fact, it's better to work in standard RGB. And we've got these BenQ monitors and they've got like this hot puck key. I just released a video actually today. We did a review for them, and you press number 1 and then you're working in Adobe RGB. It's great for print. You press number 2, it switches to Adobe RGB, so then you can work on your videos and your website stuff and you can get the colors accurate. All right, it's really handy. It's really handy stuff to have, you know. So there you go. That's Adobe RGB and standard RGB. When it's in camera, don't worry, shoot in RAW. That's all you got to know about. When it's in a monitor, standard RGB when you're working for websites and you know, on screen, and Adobe RGB color space work in that one when you're going to be doing a print. There you go, easy as that. Yep, lots of people know about the competition there as well, so thanks for backing me up there. Not sure what's happening to me bloody computer, it gets on my nerves sometimes. Just don't do what you want it to do. As I found out earlier when I was trying to live stream with people. Anyway, that's enough moaning. Let's now go on to Nigel Alexander from East Yorkshire. It says, "Hi Mark, I have a couple of questions regarding Lightroom. If I can, thank you. Number 1, now this one I don't get, so I'm not sure I can answer this, but if someone else gets what he's trying to say, you can try and answer it. But it says copy settings window has all the boxes ticked, whereas it should only show settings applied to the image." I tried to figure out what you was trying to say there. When you copy from a camera card, I think that might be what you're talking about. It does tick by default. It ticks all the boxes, and you have to untick the ones that you don't want to import. That's the only thing I can think you're talking about there. So I am sorry if I haven't got what you're saying. The next one is how do you use smart collections? Okay, let's go over into Lightroom and let's explain what collections are. So collections are over here, and a collection of images is exactly that. So just let's say, for instance, just for total argument's sake, that you are a wildlife photographer and you've been taking photographs for years, but you want to make a collection of blue tits. Okay, so you can grab all of them blue tit pictures and put them in a collection that you've created called blue tits, and it keeps them all into one nice folder, and that's it. And that will be a collection of that particular bird from all of your whole Lightroom library. That's the easiest way to describe that. Now, a smart collection is like an auto collection. That's what I think that's the easiest way to describe it. It's an auto collection. It does things automatically for you, right? It's smart. I actually don't use them. So for instance, let's click on the arrow here, smart collection. You can click on all of your 5-starred pictures and find them all at once. You can go on to the recently modified pictures. Okay, let's click on that. Let's see what I've been working on recently. Oh, there you go. I was working on that one, and God, my computer is going really slow. And I was working on that one because this is for a question that's coming up soon. And then, as you know, you just saw me do it. I was working on that one there. There you go. That's a smart collection. Oh, my computer is slowing down. Please don't crash on me when I'm live on YouTube. Now, I'm getting a little bit worried here because I'm hearing noises. Let's just crack on. Right, there we go. So that's a smart collection. Now, the question is, how do I use smart collections? I don't use smart. I just don't do it. I make collections up for other stuff. So I did a webinar for BenQ. Look, I've said that it's good advertising for these. So I've made a collection there. I made a collection for bracketing when I was doing, a lesson on bracketing and a lesson on dodge and burn. And so what I can do. So for instance, for this bracketing example, I could take examples of bracketing from different shoots and put them all into one folder. It makes it a lot easier for me to find them, show people, etc. Okay, so there you go. That's how I use collections. I don't use smart collections because I'm smarter than that. Okay, let's come on to the next one. Here we go. I need another drink here. Oh my God, I have frozen. I knew something had gone on. And I'm not sure if I've come back or not. And guys, right, listen, I'm coming. Wait there. I'm going to see if I can reconnect. I don't even know if I'm back on the street. Yes, I think I'm back. Someone help me. Am I back? Tell me if I'm back. Someone help me if I'm back. Oh, thanks guys, I'm back. Right. OBS, which is the software that I use, crashed. Oh, I tell you, today and computers has not been good for me. I'm back and I don't know where I was. Oh my God. I don't even know if you heard that whole last question then. What was I talking? Well, I'm going to move on to the next one. And I'm sorry if you didn't see anything what I did on the last one there. Right. Sorry about that, guys. Thanks for letting me know that I'm back in the game. Oh, right. Michael Sullivan from Newcastle. He says, hi Mark, my main interest is landscape photography. What's it say? Take another sip. Yeah, take another sip. Yeah, no, it didn't crash on purpose so I could have a drink. Oh, Christ. Right. Yeah, so it says, I'm interested in landscape photography. I have a 24 to 105mm lens, which is a brilliant lens. But I've seen many established photographers on YouTube, etc., also using the 70 to 200mm quite often. They say it's essential for landscape photography. Do you agree? And would you recommend me getting one? As on occasions, it's not always possible to get closer to a subject, you know, like a waterfall. But bear in mind with the 24-105, walking further into the stream. I love your opinion. Okay. Right. The first thing is, just because it's fashionable on YouTube at the minute doesn't mean it's right. So try to take the YouTube fashions with a pinch of salt. The ones that are about at the moment are like hyperfocal distance and that, and yeah, this lens, the 70 to 200 lens and things like that. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with it, but there are trends. Next year it'll be something else, and you'll be going, oh, should I be doing that? So just try and take things with a pinch of salt. And to answer your question, this is what that lens does. It compresses this. It does something really obvious, which is it gets you close to things. So when you're doing landscape photography, a lot of stuff is far away. It's as simple as that, like a mountain top or something like that. So it will get closer to stuff. But the other thing it does is it compresses the scene, which is a really nice look, because it looks different to your eye. And that's what makes a picture stand out sometimes. So in the same respect where you use an ultra wide angle lens, where you stretch the scene and you can get things that are like this close to you really sharp, and things that are far away really sharp. So and that does, you know, you don't see that normally because your eyes can't see like that, and that's why it looks good in a photograph, because you're looking at something different. In the same respect, the 200mm is compressing a scene, so it's making, let's just say, a mountain top, I'm just going to make it up now, half a mile away. It's making it look like it's a lot closer, and it's making whatever's in the foreground here look like it's closer to it as well. It sort of compresses it together, and again, you can't see that with a normal eye. That's why it catches your eye in a photograph. That's why it looks good in a photograph, because you're not used to seeing it. So that's what that lens does. And you do get some fantastic results with it. We're actually working with Tom Archer. Go and check him out over on Instagram. Just type in Tom Archer. He's got like about 130,000 followers or something, and he's a landscape photographer. And we've been working with him, so I've been learning from him, as a matter of fact. And he says about his lenses, and I can tell you what he said. His workhorse, the one that he uses most of the time, is the 24 to 70 lens. So that's the one that he says actually in the course, we're creating a course with him. He actually says in the course that is the one he could walk around with that, and he could pretty much do everything on that lens if he had to. And that is, you know, what you're saying there, 24-105. And then he talks about the effects that an ultra wide and a zoom lens and a telephoto lens has. So that's it really. It will get you a different looking shot, and it's a very expensive lens, but I do have a feeling that anyone that's bought that lens probably doesn't regret it. I mean, I haven't got that lens, but I have used it, and it is a fantastic lens, the Canon 70 to 200mm. Michael, if you've got the money, go for it. See how it looks. All right, maybe get a second-hand one or something to make it a bit cheaper. So I hope that's answered the course. Answered your question, Stephen. To answer your question on how far away is the Tom Archer course, the answer to that is we're hoping to film the rest of it. So we've filmed part of it already, and we're hoping to film the rest of it, which is the going out and taking shots part, in May, and then you're looking at a couple of months after that. So just for argument's sake, that course will, let's just, at the earliest, I would say the end of June. Okay, yeah, that sounds about realistic. So hopefully that's is a good question. You've got Dave Amber here. Dave is very what do you call it, active on our group. fantastic photographer, takes some lovely photographs. And actually, Dave, I might get you on one of these live Q&As at one point. But anyway, what he's wrote here is for Michael Sullivan is, I'll read it out. It says the Canon 70-200 is a god of a lens. All right, there you go. So, and Noreen underneath is saying that you can get the Sigma version for a lot cheaper. Right, there you go. Yep, mix in the house. So yep, good. Now let's go on to the next question, and hopefully it doesn't crash this time. Wes Spencer from the USA. Okay. I've been having difficulty with camera shake and focusing when I'm using the Sigma 150-600. I have even tried using a tripod at times, which helps, but it makes photographing moving objects and animals almost impossible. Would increasing the ISO to allow more light and a faster shutter speed help with that? It really is as simple as that. Okay, now I'm assuming you're using a full frame camera, right? I'm not 100% here because it doesn't say, but if you are, you can up the ISO and get away with it. All right, you could up the ISO to 1000 really and get away. And when I say get away with it, I mean as long as you're not cropping into it and doing anything major, you could get away with it. Now here's the rule, okay, or a guide, shall I say. If you are shooting at 600mm on a full frame, yeah, you're fully zoomed in, you've got to be at 1,000th of a second or higher really to ensure, especially handheld, to ensure that that is sharp. Even with image stabilizer on, I mean, you know, image stabilizer is good, it's very good in fact, but you've got to be sure if you want to get that shot, haven't you? So if it was me, I wouldn't be shooting lower than 1,000th of a second. I mean, I was using a little while ago, I was using a 400mm lens on a crop sensor on the Fuji, and I was hand holding, just doing silly things like, you know, birds in trees and stuff like that. I was just testing it out, and I found that even with the IBIS, now the XT4's got the IBIS, really good IBIS on it. Even with that, if you was going lower than 500th of a second, you could get camera shake with that, and that was at 400mm. So that was with IBIS, yeah. So that's my faults. Up the ISO, open that aperture as wide as you can, and get that shutter speed to around about 1,000th of a second, and you should, fingers crossed, be all right. Okay, so I hope that's answered your question. Anyone else who shoots at that range, put your shutter speed experience in the comments, please. Right, we are, yeah, I'm going to be a bit picky now because there is some good questions that I want to answer, and it's a quick one. This is a very quick one. Geraldine Bryce from the UK. How do I save selections in Photoshop? And the other one is, if in Photoshop, if I make a mistake, I can press Control and Z. But what do I do in Lightroom? You press Control and Z. That one's a very easy one. It's the same in Lightroom as it is in Photoshop. Right, let's go over to Photoshop and show you about the and show you the selection thing, okay, because it is really easy. So let's take a selection. I'm going to use the lasso tool. You can use a lot of different tools to do a selection, and I'm going to go like this, and let's just say that that is my selection. All right, now what you're saying is, how do you save that selection and use it later in another edit in Photoshop? I'll come back to that bit in a minute. Now firstly, you make the selection, you right click, and then you go save selection, and then you name it to whatever you want. Let's just say selection 1, and we click the enter key, and that's about it really. Now that has saved that selection, but this is the difficult bit. So if I press Control and D to deselect it, you think, well, how can I get it back, and where is it saved? Well, it's saved it as a channel. So you go over to your channels panel here. If you haven't got that panel showing, you quite simply go up to Window and you go down to Channels, and it will pop up. Okay, Excuse me. And then to get that selection back, you hold down the control or the command key. Can you see that box that pops up? You can just about see it there, just above my head. Hold down the control key, click on that selection, and it comes back up again. And it is as simple as that. Now your other question about, that's how you save a selection. How, and you're saying how can you use it in another edit later on? Well, it does. You can only save it to that picture. So I can open up this picture. So as long as you save it as a PSD, that's important. You need to save it as a Photoshop file. I can open up this picture again at another time, and that selection will always be there. It will be with this picture. You can't open up another picture and go and grab it. What you'd have to do is open up another picture as this one is open, if that makes sense. So you've got, imagine you've got 2 or 3 pictures up, and then you can move that selection. Oops, sorry, not like that. Let's go Control and Z. You'd have to click this here. Then you could move that selection up and into the other picture, but that's the only way that you're going to do it. All right. So hopefully that's answered your question there. You're all fuzzy, Mark. What are you talking about? What are you saying? Is this from Gary? Is this the computer going a bit weird, or is this me? You're saying that I've had too much to drink. Someone else help me out here. Oh yeah, thanks, Stephen. That's it. Yeah. Hopefully, well, if anyone else says I'm fuzzy, then it's me. If not, you have got settings on YouTube, and you click the little icon and you can set to stream at HD. Right. It could be internet connection as well. Right, let's go for I'm trying to zoom through and find one that is, what's the time? Let's go to the next one. Oh yeah, here's a good one. Susan Hughes from Essex. Hey, down the road. The weather recently has been very overcast. Yes, it has. What setting should I be using to take my outdoor images? I have a Canon 6D camera and every photo seems a bit flat. I'm currently working through the lesson on balancing lights. Okay, so welcome to the call, Susan, and I hope that you're enjoying it. I don't think it's the IPA. No, I don't think the fuzziness is, not yet. I've not had a full one yet. I need a few of them first. Let's go over to the screen here and go over to Lightroom, and then I need to go back to library and go to these pictures that I saved for you earlier on. Here we go. Here they are here. Okay, so you can see that now, right? So Susan's questions is that all of her pictures are looking flat when she's shooting in an overcast day. Right, Susan, they will, because that is the exact look an overcast day gives you. Okay, now you can't do nothing about that. It is as simple as that. If you're outside and it's cloudy, it produces a soft, flat light. You use it to your benefit. That's it, right? You can't do nothing about it. You can't change camera settings, because I think that's your question here. What can you do on your camera? Well, you can't do anything, right? You can't control nature. You've got flat light, but you can use it to your advantage. Shots like this, where you're going for that gloomy look. This is from the project I did down in Southend. It's an absolutely perfect light for this particular picture and image. This is Southend on Sea, seafront, on a wet day, which is most days of the year, and Gilbert is quite a famous little cafe along there, and there's no one there because it's got dull, grey and wet, and then you get a bird going through the frame, which just adds that interest to it. Okay, so you use it to your advantage. And the other thing is with it, it can actually be really good for portraiture. Maybe you get that soft light. It's like you've got a natural softbox going on. Now, in contrast, here is another picture from the same project on a sunny day, and as you can see, we've got a lot more contrast, a lot more definition in the picture, and that's the difference really. A sunny day and an overcast day. But it's the feeling that you get from them that's important. So you use that light to your advantage. Yeah, there's nothing that you can do about that one, Susan. I did think it was a good question though. So thanks for bringing it in. I think a lot of people do think that they're doing something wrong, like their pictures are coming out too flat or whatever. And it's not that you're doing anything wrong. It's just that you're limited to what you've got around you. It's as simple as that. Right. Now I'm going to answer some questions from anyone who wants to put them in the comments here. So now's your chance, please. If you've got a question to ask, or you want to ask something about what we've said during this session, put it in the comments here. And while I'm just getting the last questions up, if you haven't done so already, please hit that like button. It really helps us out. We really need these things to happen. And make sure you subscribe. Like I can't tell you how important it is. I know you hear it all the time with YouTubers. Like and subscribe and hit that bell. I know it bores me saying it, right? But it really does help me, and it helps the School of Photography if you do that. So please do that if you are sitting there bored. Right, now let's go for... Oh, here was a good one. Here's a good one. And the group can help me answer this one. This is for Ava Shapiro, I think is how you pronounce it. And it doesn't say where she's from, as a matter of fact. But here's the question. Hey there, I've just joined TSOP a few weeks ago and I'm loving it. Loving is in capitals, by the way, just so you all know. Thanks, Ava. My question is about my camera. I have a Nikon D5100, which was first released in 2011. I was only 21 then. So since this camera is about 10 years old, do you think I should upgrade? Am I missing out on anything good or important by having an older camera? If so, do you have any recommendations for what camera I should get? And so on and so forth. Right, okay, so firstly, if anyone else, I'm going to come to the recommendation bit in a minute. She's a Nikon girl. She's got the D5100. What's her next move? All right, you put it in there for. I'm not a Nikon person, so yeah. But your answer is, do you need to upgrade? No, you do not need to upgrade. That camera is a nice camera. It's got all the features that you want. So while you are learning, it's absolutely perfect. In fact, it's probably better because, you know, you're going to have to find things without all the auto bits. So save your money for a little while you're doing the course, the Complete Guide to Photography course, because in that course I talked to you about lenses and cameras and that anyway, so you know you'll get to know that anyway. But while you are learning, certainly there is no need to upgrade that camera. Going forwards, everyone likes new stuff, don't they? I mean, we can't help it. We all like new gadgets and new cameras. So going forwards, you might want to get more of a mid-range Nikon camera. So with Nikons, basically when you've got 4 digits like the 5100, that's the entry level. When you've got 3 digits, it's the mid-range level. And then when you've got is it 2 digits or 1 digit? Someone, Nikon people, correct me here. I think that's like the professional level. So their mid-range level is actually really nice, and that's what I would recommend. Go for one of their mid-range cameras, the 3-digit ones. That's all I can say. Like I say, I'm not a Nikon expert, but someone else, I'm pretty sure that someone else will put in a recommended Nikon camera in a minute. We haven't got your budget, so it's going to be a bit of a stab in the dark there. But I really do hope that's helped you out, Ava. Now, I'm going to answer this one actually because it is a good one and it's one that everyone asks. It's from JP in Michigan in the USA. I'm going to take a sip. Semi-beginner here, he starts with, when editing a photograph, it seems very subjective. And there are so many things that you can do to post-process a picture, and it can often be overwhelming and a little defeating. What to you makes a picture stand out and look professional? I often think this looks great, but how would others view it more with a critical eye? I hope that makes sense. Thanks for any suggestions. Right, so first of all, if you think it looks great, then it looks great because it's your picture, no one else's. Okay, now I know what you're saying about a more critical eye. Basically that might mean someone that's looked at more pictures than you, or someone that's took more pictures than you, but there is a real special naivety, I think, when I see creative people that first pick up a camera. Sometimes that's the best stuff that they're going to produce because they've not been what do you call it, like I don't know what I'm trying to say, you know, corrupted by looking at so many YouTube videos and so many pictures. Oh, this is how it's got to be done. This is how it's got to be done. This is good. I mean, I've subscribed to the British Journal recently, and what you notice is that there's a real fashion at the moment for pink and blue, and it's not that great. I don't find it great at all, but it's splashed all over their magazines. It's like art, man. Like there's just pink in a lot of their pictures. And that's obviously the fashion right now, but it doesn't mean that you go out and find things pink and take pictures of it, right? You know, you look at things critically, but you keep your faults and your style to yourself, because that is what makes your style, and it's very, very important that you keep that to you. People buy into you really, and your style. So look at other people, imitate them, but keep to your style. So firstly, if you think it looks great, it looks great. Now post-processing needs to be done, and let's just get any of my pictures actually, and hopefully I can show you. You don't have to do it loads, you don't have to do it. Let's have a look at this one here. I don't know if this is one that I've actually edited in this part or in Photoshop, but we'll soon find out. I think I did it here. Okay, so this is a panorama actually. It's just three, is it 2 or 3? I can't remember. It's either 2 or 3 pictures which are stitched together. So we've already got post-processing going on. I'm going to click reset. Let's just see. There you go. That's what it would look like if I didn't post-process it. Amazing, isn't it, really? And it would look like that, by the way. This is not that I have got like absolute genius skills in Lightroom. It's because they're raw files shooting into the sun. You know, what do you expect? Raw files are generally dull anyway because they're raw. It's the raw material. And you're shooting into the sun, which means that you are going to get a contrasty shot. The sky's either going to be too bright or the ground is going to be too dark, right? Now, you're shooting in RAW, so you can pull that stuff out. You can add colors in Photoshop if you need to, and you can make it look like what it actually looked like, which was this, what you can see here. It was a beautiful scene. It was absolutely stunning. And if I left it like that, let's go reset it again. It just doesn't do it justice. That was not what I was looking at. With the camera, I captured the raw data, and with the computer, I made it look like how it looked. It's as simple as that. So I think I don't even know if I've answered your question. I've got to be honest. I think I've answered your question. You can post-process it in many. I'll tell you what. While we're here, let's look at that one. I mean, that is really overdone, yeah. But I wanted to do that. You know, I wanted to do that. I've literally changed the colour of that sky. And other people will say it's overdone, and it is. And you know, nothing wrong with it. But there's 2 different ways. The other one was a bit more naturally processed, whereas this one has just been absolutely, I don't know, punched. There we go. That's what I'm going to say. Let's come back to camera now. I do hope that's answered your question. I sort of got to the end and thought, have I answered it? I think I have. All right, Philip, let's not get funny here. Your room is pink and blue, yeah. That's actually purple, right? By the way, it's just that I've got the white balance on my camera set to the tungsten lights that I've got. Right, yeah, okay, whatever. Anyway, I know what I'm talking about. That's the fashion in the royal in the British Journal. There we go. Right, let's answer some questions here. I have a friend saying they don't need a camera to take photos as their camera phones do everything for them. Would you say some of them are right? Okay, here we go. Very good question, Debbie. So I'll just so she's got a friend and she says, I don't need a camera. My phone does it all. Phones are brilliant. They take great shots and you can do so much with them. You know, my partner, she's got this setting on her camera and it blurs the background for you. Like, you know, it really does look good on the camera screen. And this is where the difference is. Okay, you start moving them pictures onto screen and zooming in. They've got nothing that a camera that this is a micro four thirds. It's got nothing that's got. But you compare it with a full frame and you've just lost it totally. It's always going to have a small chip. Okay, so camera phones are always going to have that amount of chip that's capturing all of the light, whereas a camera is going to have that much. It's not rocket science that more information is going to be captured by a bigger sensor. That more information is going to give you much more clarity, much more color, much more depth, much more dynamic range. And if you're on a mobile phone and you're only ever going to put them on Facebook, or you're only going to ever print them, I don't know, A5, you could probably, yeah, you would get away with an A4 print on a mobile phone, then that's absolutely fine. But if you want to start doing proper photography and selling it and, you know, doing jobs for people and post-processing and pulling out shadows and whatever else, you're going to need a decent camera. But I will say this, I think the mobile phone is great for most things. Like if because you're either going to have a mobile phone which is your snap camera capturing the kids running around and all that, or you take a big camera around that with you, and that's the difference. As some people don't want to take a big camera around with them, and the phone is absolutely fine. But if you're like me and you and everyone else in this group, you're going to want to take a big camera around with you because you want to control the visual elements. You know, you've got a certain amount of control on a phone, but you ain't got that much control, have you? Let's think about it. You've not got like focal lengths going in and out. I know some of you have now. Actually, you've got 3 lenses, haven't you, on the back one? But you get the point. You ain't got to zoom in and out, ultra wide angle, focusing in the foreground and keeping everything sharp. You know, you just haven't got the control or the detail that you have with a DSLR camera. Ta-da! That was a good answer. That was a good answer, I thought. Guys, it's been a pleasure. Hit that like button. Tell me what you think in the comments here. I'll read a few comments. Everyone seems to think it's funny because I said about the pink and because I got a pink room when it's not. But all right, get the British Journal and you'll know exactly what I mean. And I like my pink room, and it's not bloody pink anyway. It's purple. It's just the white balance. It's Fish Molly. She loves my beard. Well, thanks for that. It doesn't take that much effort. And I'm trying to read through some other things here, but there's so much here. I think I'll be here all day long. Oh, the Z9. Oh, that was for the Nikon person who asked for a Nikon brand. The Nikon Z9 will be around 10 grand. Anyway, there you go. It's been really fun tonight, guys. Next month I'm gonna try and bring people in. I've got a few ideas. One was to get people to ask questions live. That's what I tried to do, but I couldn't get it connecting. I left it too late, if I'm going to be honest with you. But the other idea is I was thinking of getting some of my students to show some of their work. Like let's say students that have been learning for a year or so, and that can show some of their work, share their advice on the learning journey and, you know, equipment and all the stuff that learners do when they start learning. So that's another idea. If you're interested in that, drop me an email, put it in the comments, whatever, and hopefully we can get something going there, because even though I'm in a great pink room here, which I know you all love, looking at my face for an hour, it can't be that great. We've got to get some other people involved, I think. Okay, so that's the aim. Okay, that's the target. Hopefully next month we're going to do that. Don't forget, if you want to ask a question, you click that link and ask it in that form. It's the easiest way. I get to print them out, and I get to prepare for them. Sorry if I didn't get around to your question. I do try and pick the ones that I think are interesting, and not just interesting, but the ones that get asked a lot. So that's what I try to do. Thanks, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure. I've really enjoyed myself. Nearly finished a whole beer here, look. And I'm going to go and finish the rest of that off now. So I will see you next month. Thanks again, and goodbye.